Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of the MylesHighClub podcast. I'm your host, Miles. This is episode 17. Episode 17. Welcome back. I hope everybody is in good spirits, depending on what part of the country you're in. You may have seen some snow, or quite a lot of snow actually, it feels like it's been snowing all week, but walked out the house this morning and the snow is clearing up, so I don't have to worry about risking my life taking the dog for a walk. But yes, welcome to another episode of the MylesHighClub podcast. Everybody out there is good. And let's just get straight into it. Since the last time we spoke, there have been about 5 or 6 restocks of the PS5. You're probably thinking, yes, Miles, you finally got one. You clearly haven't got me on Instagram. You haven't been following my story. And like I said, when I get the PlayStation, the next podcast, it will be sat right here. It's going to be my first guest. It'll be sat right there. Yeah, it'll be sat right there. And you'll, in all of its glory for you all to bear witness to. But everything's been happening. Last week, Game had 3 drops in 48 hours. Yeah, and it's because of these, because of the scalpers and the bots again. So I think Game dropped, sold out within, I don't know how long it sells out, because Game drop, I get all my alerts. By the time I get to the Game website, I'm thrown into a queue that says your wait is over an hour. As soon as I see it's over an hour wait, I'm like, well, I'm not getting one. It's just, you're just not going to get one. And then it came out, all the bees, I don't know, I'm not going to give them any awareness whatsoever or acknowledge what they're called. But a bot company or a scalper group tweeted out about they got so many from Game. Game have switched on. I don't know about anywhere else, but Game have switched on. So what they're doing is they're going back through their orders and they're looking for duplicate payment methods, duplicate addresses, duplicate IP addresses to make sure it is only one per person. And then they cancel all the orders with duplicate addresses. They then put out another stock, I think it was the next day. Same thing happened, sold out, got there, our queue, sold out, bots claimed them again. So then they went back to their orders, cancelled all the duplicates again, and then later on that same day, dropped again. All these drops, I still didn't get nothing. Argos decided to drop at 2 o'clock in the morning. I saw rumours, but it's an argument of what's more important, a PS5 or sleep. And I'm not that deluded yet, so I understand sleep is 1,000% more important. So I didn't set an alarm to wake up, I didn't stay up. Woke up at 7, 8 o'clock, notifications, people getting them. It was working on Argos at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I could add it to basket, but you couldn't check out, and then it all just fumbled. Let's just move on. Still no PlayStation. Scalpers are still fucking at it. I was gonna say something, but then I didn't want you lot to judge me, so I'm gonna keep my horrible thoughts to myself. Moving on, let's bring it back up. I don't know if this is bring it back up. I just found this hella funny. So I don't know how many of you guys were keeping up with the whole American politics, Trump leaving, Joe Biden coming in, Trump putting through 73 or 75 pardons before he left, which is basically pardoning people from their prison sentence. I tried to read about all 70 of them just to see if there were any. It's all like tax evasion and drug charge. It's nothing serious. So, from what I can see and what they're showing you, there was no serious charges on there. Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, they were on the list to be pardoned. Someone who works for or used to work for Rock Nation, I think it's like a Rock Nation CEO, she was pardoned for whistleblowing. Was it whistleblowing? She pardoned for something. But the person that wasn't pardoned, and someone who believed so strongly that they were getting pardoned that I don't know how they did it from prison, but they ordered themselves a limo. It might have been a Hummer limo, I haven't seen a picture of it yet, but it was a limo. They ordered themselves a limo to pick them up and got their hair and makeup. I'm going to say hair and makeup considering who we're talking about. Got their hair and makeup done. So imagine this, you feel like you're getting pardoned, you get your hair and makeup done, the day comes, jack shit happens. Yes, if you haven't heard already, I am talking about the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Exotic. Yeah, if you don't know who Joe Exotic is, I don't know where you've been for the past year. You need to go to Netflix right now and watch Tiger King. But yeah, Joe Exotic thought, I don't know, I tried to read as many stories as possible, and I don't know why he thought this was going to happen for him, but Joe Exotic believed he was going to be receiving himself a pardon, ordered himself a limo, got his hair and makeup done, got himself on fleek, ready to leave, stunt on those jail bitches. That didn't happen, he's still in jail. So then he switched his whole side and was like, he didn't say this, but I'm just paraphrasing. Fuck Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't care about us. He only cares about his rich friends. He doesn't care about gay people. I'm sure he threw being gay into it somewhere. I feel like he pulled his gay card, which, if you're going to pull his gay card against anyone, yeah, it's worth pulling it against Trump. It is worth pulling it against Trump. But yeah, so that didn't happen, and now he's slammed Trump, and now he's kissing up to Biden from the look of it. He just wants his pardon. He needs his pardon, and when I think about like on a whole scale of things like animal cruelty, attempted. I don't know if it goes down as attempted murder, but I think he tried to organize the murder. Apparently, he tried to organize the murder of someone. Like when you look at a whole totality of things, does Joe Exotic deserve to be in jail, prison, whatever it is? Yes, he does. Sorry, Joe, you entertained me for however many episodes Tiger King was on for, but you're also a piece of shit. But if we just keep it within the Tiger King universe, does Joe Exotic deserve to be in jail? No. Who does? Carol Baskin. She killed her husband. Where is that documentary? There's like I feel like by the time my generation, so if you're the 90s babies, the millennials, I feel like by the time we get into older age, there's just a few things that we need to know. Well, this might be very UK based, but there's a few things I want to know before I die. One of them is, did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Just need that confirmed. What really happened to Madeleine McCann? Like, I feel like we all know what happened, but until the parents be like, oh, okay, we admit it, it's all conspiracies. So I need to know that. Was 9/11 an inside job? I feel like again we all know that, but I still really want to know. Really want to know these things. I wouldn't call myself an expert in the female anatomy. However, I have explored a lot of the female anatomy, and I still haven't found this third hole. You remember when you was at school and everyone was like, oh, girls have 3 holes. There's like the booty hole, the fanny hole, and there's apparently like a little tiny one in between those. I've never found it. Now, granted, it has it? Yeah, I think it has always been dark or very low light any time in my history that I was studying the female anatomy, but I never found it. So that might be one of those rumors that went around as a kid. Like, what other rumors went around when we were kids? Rihanna had to get her stomach pumped from swallowing too much seabass. This is when Rihanna didn't get any respect. This is when Rihanna was just a mixed race Caribbean girl with a big forehead singing all these pop songs, and I don't know why this rumor went around. Or how did rumors go around back then? Because we were in school and all you had was what? Bebo, Pixo. And I don't remember reading this. I remember people saying this like out loud verbally. So I don't know where that came from. But yeah, Rihanna, Good Girl Gone Bad is Rihanna's. That sums up Rihanna. She got beat up, then glowed. I'm not making jokes. I'm just saying. She got beat up, then glowed up out of nowhere. So well done to Riri for doing all that. But yeah, there's just a few things that I need to know. Three things I need to know before I die. But yeah, I just wanted to mention the Joe Exotic thing. I wasn't going to do a deep dive into it. It's just things that happen. And yeah, more snow out of nowhere. Now, I think it's because I don't pay attention to I don't pay attention to the news. 2, I don't watch TV. Like, my TV comes on, my TV's turned on, it's for a streaming service, so Disney, Netflix, Amazon, or it's YouTube, or it's to go on the PlayStation. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually, in the coming up to 2 years. Oh shit, I've nearly had my house 2 years. Oh, I've had my house for 2 years. I've literally it's the 27th of January. I picked up my keys on the 25th, I believe. I picked up my keys on the 25th of January, 2019. So yeah, the 2nd anniversary of me being a homeowner. Oh, would you look at that? But yes, in the 2 years I've been in this house, the only times I think I've ever put Virgin or TV on is because Virgin Media went down. Now, I don't want to jinx it. Fingers crossed. Since we rang them and they came out and gave us a new box a few months ago, my internet hasn't been down once, but let me tell you, when my internet used to go, my internet used to go down multiple times a day, multiple times multiple times a week, and I was just sick and tired of it. But now it's all it's all done. Don't mind me, guys. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna be consistently checking this phone throughout the podcast anytime it vibrates. Like I said, I have Twitter alerts. I've got stock. I've got about 7. No, I've got about 8 or 9 different alerts coming from everywhere about when PlayStations come in stock. So this podcast is either going to be put on pause, or you guys are going to sit there and listen or watch me struggle to try and get my hands on this PlayStation. But yeah, I don't watch the news, so I didn't see any weather reports. I didn't see anyone putting on their Instagram stories or Instagram or anywhere about the weather. I literally went to bed didn't go to bed. I was watching TV. Went outside on the evening, don't worry about why. I have my meditation sessions on the nights. Walked out, snowing, like thick and fast, it was snowing. Went back in, woke up in the morning, white sheets everywhere. I was just like, oh, you know. Then I remembered we're in a lockdown, so snow doesn't bother me anymore. Like I think I spoke about this before, but like as a kid, I used to love snow. And then you hit that age where like you actually have to be places and you have to go places like work. And then snow is nothing but a nuisance. There's no such thing as a snow day because you're at work, or you've been at work all day. By the time you finish work, you don't want to go and play around in cold snow, or you don't want to be in cold snow before you go to work. I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm just in the house, so the snow doesn't bother me. I found my wellies from Glastonbury a few years, so when it comes to walking the dog, whack my wellies on. Still don't understand why wellies have such good grip. Probably just the rubber or the grooves. But I don't slip, not once. Ice, snow, slosh, mud, whatever it is. Wellies are fantastic. Yeah, that's why you could. I don't know if you can, but you might be able to see my breath because it is once again freezing fucking cold in this garage, but it's also freezing fucking cold outside the garage. But I put a video on my Instagram story. My brother sent a video to our family WhatsApp group, and I put it on my Instagram stories. And it was basically, again, I'm not that far into this podcast. If I can actually get the video and put it on, it will appear here. If it doesn't appear here, use your imagination. But it's a video of, it's a hill, and there's a VW. I don't know what VW it is, but it's coming down a hill. And you know how you have like those, like the bollards in the middle of the road? It's like on a mini path in the middle, pavement in the middle. One of them. And there's a smart car on the right side of the road, but it's sort of half on the pavement, half off. I'm guessing it slipped out because of skidded out because of snow. So the VW's gone one way. And then some clown in the Merc must have thought to himself, oh, I can beat that car. Puts his foot down to try and get past. Doesn't see the smart car. Crashes into the smart car. Bounces off the smart car. Crashes into the VW. Then into another car parked on the other side of the road. Crashes back into another car further down the road on the other side. Oh, it's just, the whole video makes no sense. All you can hear is some woman screams, for God's sake, what's wrong with people? Another woman who was in the smart car that was hit screams, stupid people. And the woman, you could hear the stress and the tired and the whole sense of being fed up from a woman. She's just like, this happens every bloody year. We've already had 3 accidents this morning. And I was like, I feel for you. I feel for you with the consequences of living on a hill, especially when it snows. But I have no snow stories whatsoever. Stayed in the house. At one point, like I'd walk the dog and then I'd see people out with their kids and feel bad. I'm like, oh, I should really take Mila out into the snow. So Mila's been out. She's been in the garden. She's been out the front. But she doesn't actually play with the snow too much. She'll pick it up and throw it. But a lot of times she'll just stand there looking around. And I think it's because majority of her life has been inside. Poor child. The majority of her life has been inside. Now, on the 24th of March, she's going to be spending her 2nd birthday, I believe, in lockdown. So she hasn't even had a proper birthday yet. Like last year, it was in lockdown, so we couldn't do anything. We couldn't go anywhere. Family couldn't come. I think my mum came around. My mum's like me. She's no business. She came around. She's like, I'm not going to see my granddaughter, especially when we're going to be in lockdown for how long? Because then after her birthday, I don't think my mum saw her granddaughter face to face for a good 3-4 months. And then at one point, mum was like, you know, up this, I want to see my granddaughter. Bring her around, she can sleep over. I was like, you sure? So yes, bring her around, she'll sleep over. So there you have it. Talking of lockdown, let's go straight back into our weekly COVID update, as that seems to be the only thing keeping us all, well, seems to be the only thing happening in life. So as soon as I saw this story and I was like, I've got to talk about this. There's like 3 or 4 stories that the headlines themselves they just get me. So one of them was more than 500 cases at a government building in Swansea. I think they led with government because, you know, the governments are the ones that are telling us stay at home, only go to work when you need to, stay 2 meters apart, wear a mask, all the bollocks that they're droning into us. So there was actually more than 500 cases at a DVLA in Swansea. So the way it's working, I did a little research in it. The Swansea staff members are pissed. So it's DVLA, I think it's like a call centre / offices. In the first lockdown, they said that everyone was working from home where they could. There was only a few people working from the office, but since the second lockdown and in this third lockdown, they've been requesting people to come in. They've been telling, apparently, this is all alleged, so I should say, so no one can sue me. Allegedly, they've been telling all their staff to come in. Allegedly, they've been telling those people who are sick to keep it to themselves and to come in and telling them it's probably not COVID. They're not telling people to get vaccines, nor are they offering, not vaccines, tests, nor are they offering tests for people. Oh, it's a shit show. It's a shit show in Swansea. Oh, it's a shit show in Swansea. Oh no, it flows a lot better when you actually take your time to say it. So yeah, the government in Swansea aren't fucking following orders from the look of it. They're fucking up. And the reason why it was in the news is because that is the most cases reported from a single place of origin. Like from a single business or a single building. Like there hasn't been that many cases. This is over 500. I think it was just under 600, but it was over 500 cases from one building since I think the past 6 months or so, which is fucking stupid when you think about it being a fucking government building. Another one, I'm just gonna read this under this. I put this under abandonments. This one is the RSPCA has responded to 5,955 reports about abandoned dogs since the beginning of the pandemic. And we've probably yet to see the worst, some doctor has said. Now that doesn't surprise me at all, because you saw it all over your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The first lockdown came. After about a month of being in lockdown, people got bored and they were just like, oh, how can we occupy ourselves? I know, let's buy a dog. Some people brought the dog and have had that dog ever since and have loved it. So to those people, congratulations, well done for not being a piece of shit. Other people brought a dog, and I don't know what it is. Other people, there were some people that probably brought a dog, didn't realise just how much work it is looking after, especially a puppy. Didn't realise how much work it was looking after a puppy and regretted it. Some people might have brought a dog, kept it for the whole first lockdown, but then when everyone went back to work, didn't know what to do and was like, oh shit, we don't want the dog, we've got no way of looking after it, blah, 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 blah. Other people probably lost their job, so couldn't afford to keep, so the people that lost jobs and can't afford to keep the jobs, I don't blame you guys, it's shit, these things happen. But, fuck it. Come on, people. What happened to a dog isn't for Christmas, a dog is for life. A lot of these dogs were brought for Christmas as well. So, Pets for Home, one of the UK's largest online pet marketplaces, identified that the demand for puppies was 51% greater than dogs aged 1 or older between July and September last year. So from that then, it was puppies. So 51% greater increase of people looking for puppies than dogs that were 1 or older. So this is a lot of people want it that have got kids, people that just want a dog from young. This is the one that got me. So a total of 466,601 dogs have been advertised on the site so far, with average prices increasing by 131%. Now, I knew about the price increase because, again, when everyone was buying dogs, people were out there looking for dogs. So when I was helping people look for dogs, or when I was seeing people asking where to look for dogs, I was noticing the price in dogs went through a fucking roof. So I've got a blue staffy. Originally, when we were looking for blue staffies, I think the price was around, it was like 1,000, anywhere between like 1,000 to 2,000 for a blue staffy. You could get staffies for a lot cheaper than that. And then a friend, Megan, shout out you if you're watching, popped up to me and was like, my friend's mom in Telford is selling some staffy puppies. She's got blue ones. They're only 600. Do you want me to find out more? Found out more, went to visit them once, went home, went back, picked up the dog, took the dog home. Ivy is now, I think she's in the living room or the dining room at this time probably. And that's, you know what I'm going to do? I'll start, guys. What I'm going to start doing is when this is all not freezing cold temperatures and there's not shit around for it to start chewing on, I will bring my dog for one podcast. She might just sit here and not move, probably fall asleep for me, but I'm going to bring her in for a podcast. But yeah, 500,000 dogs have been advertised and have been an average price increase of 131%, which means if someone was selling a dog, if the average price of a dog was £500, the average price of a dog is now 1,200, 1,300. Fucking ridiculous. And again, this was a mixture of people seeing an increase in dogs and being like, fucking hell, let's take advantage of this, up in their prices. I was seeing people selling dogs for £2,500, and these aren't £2,500 dogs. Apologies if you can hear the racket. It sounds like the bin men have just pulled up and are doing their rounds and getting everything, so let's let them carry on. I'm trying to think. Abandonments are going to happen because people have gotten puppies on a whim. Here we go. This is what I meant, yeah. And then again, since the start of the pandemic, 5,955 reports about abandoned dogs have been made. So people are just abandoned. It's one thing buying a dog and then trying to resell it for a higher price, or one thing buying a dog and taking it back, but to buy a dog and then abandon it. Which, a lot of people that are watching this might be like, I can't believe Miles is talking like this about dogs, because I do not like dogs. I'm not scared, okay? There's a difference between being scared of something and not liking something. When it came to dogs, I did not like dogs. I didn't like dogs whatsoever. The only reason, in fact, I have a dog, I think in my past, there's like 5 dogs that I've liked, and they've all been my friends' dogs. The only reason I own a dog now is because I used to work away all the time with work. And one of the times I was working away, I was in London, got a missed call off my girlfriend at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I think she woke up to sort our daughter out. And she saw a notification on the Ring camera, looked at the notification on the Ring doorbell. Someone had walked past our door with a balaclava on, and then a second person walked up and gone to our back gate. Now luckily they didn't do anything, but as you can imagine, this shit her up. And again, when you're a mom at home especially with a newborn baby and everything else, you're gonna feel absolutely terrified. I was in a position where I couldn't just quit my job and then stay at home until I found a new job. That wasn't gonna work. So I was like, if I buy a dog, will that make you feel safe? And I was like, it'll make me feel safer. So here we have it. We have a dog that if someone breaks into my house, would probably just lick someone to death. I don't know how you train dogs. I don't know how you train dogs. Or I might have to just find somewhere where I can go to take her for like protective training, so that she actually fucking listens to me for once. But oh yeah, it's shocking. It is shocking. So if you are, oh my god, hold on a minute. I just saw this. So, co-founder of All Dogs Matter. Will you not go and get your own fucking thing? Never mind. The co-founder of All Dogs Matter told Sky News the online market for dogs has become lucrative and unscrupulous trade due to lack of regulations. They're being multi-sold, so one dog can turn over and transact 5,000 to 10,000 if it is sold 3 times. It becomes such a commodity, a dog. At some point, there's got to be a saturation point. This can't carry on forever. It's not just practical. It's so sad. We're a nation of dog lovers, and this has created monsters. I hope half of you guys out there feel bad. I really hope you do. Buying dogs out there and then abandoning them, you absolute bastards. More and more proof every day. Every time we come back to this podcast, I hit you with proof that humans are shit. People are shit. Hopefully, I don't know if I do, but hopefully in here somewhere in my notes I've got something about how good people are. But again, another update on our weekly COVID update. This just made me giggle. 300 plus person illegal rave shut down in London. So I literally, again, turned my phone on in the morning, got all my news updates from Update, clicked and saw that, clicked it, and it was just body cam footage showing you police storming what looked like I don't know where it was. It looked like a random warehouse, and the police just stormed in there. Over 300 people in there, all partying, having an illegal rave. It didn't tell you what the age range was. I'm assuming it was my generation because we like to party. La-di-da-di, we like to party. And this is what got me. So they raided it, and of the 300 plus people that were there, 78 people were fined. I read the story. There wasn't much interest in the story apart from people moaning about people raving and how it's selfish and how it's going to cause this, whatever. The only thing I took from this is 300 people were at this rave. Only 78 people got fined. I don't know how those 78 people got fined. It's like just under a third of the people. But let me tell you this, there is no way in hell that I'm with 300 people and I'm part of the 78 people that get fined. No, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the 78 people were the slowest to run, if they got themselves trapped, because when the police storm, you can hear them saying, back, get through that exit. So there must be more than one entrance to the building, and they must have been trying to force everyone out of a certain exit. So it's peak for those 78 people that got caught. And then what caught me even more is 78 people were fined, totaling £15,000. Now, that sounds like a lot. £15,000, you're like, Jesus. But then I was like, oh, 15,000, split that between 300 people. But I was like, no. So only the 78 people that got fined. So, quick maths, 78 people fined a total of 15,000. That is an average of £193 each. It wasn't really worth it, was it? Like, I don't care. Well, no, I don't care how much money you have. If unless I find out something special about this illegal rave, or this rave, they love throwing the word illegal in front of things. Like, until I find out more details about what was going on at this rave, who was at the rave, who organised the rave, was there an entrance fee in the rave, was there food and beverages available? £193. That's a ticket. That is a ticket to a weekend event abroad. That is Glastonbury, the whole 4 or 5 days. That is wireless, both weekends, or however wireless works. Friday to Sunday, I think it is, isn't it? Yo, imagine being one of the 78, imagine being there, go with a bunch of your friends. Let's say you go with 10, let me paint this picture. So, how many people really go to raves? Let's say it's a group of 5. Someone in your group comes up to you, or someone in the group chat puts it out there, not you, someone else puts it out there, yo, rave, let's go. Let's say there's a £10 entry fee, it's London, £10, £15 seems normal. It's an illegal rave, £20 it might even be. So you just spent £20, for example. Remember, it's not your idea to go to this rave, but you want to go anyway. So you go to the rave, feds come in. Again, to me, this is common sense 101. If you are somewhere and feds break in, a gunman breaks in, someone crazy with anyone that possesses any sort of danger to your life or freedom breaks into a room that you are in, I think it's common sense 101. Leave, get the fuck out of there, don't look back. Or that's just me. Again, all depends on your situation. If you're with family, then yeah, grab your family. But if you're just with a bunch of friends and it's police, oh, you better believe I am out of there. So I'm gone. Let's say you're the one that gets caught and you get this £193 fine. Do you split it with your friends? Do you give it to the person that organised the rave? I mean, no. You could, if you knew who organised the rave, you could be like, yo. But no, this is at your own. It is at your own risk. Because I see a few of my friends having. I can't call them house parties because they're not house parties. It's literally a handful of people around someone's house, which to me, you already know how I feel about this whole thing. So I am down. I've still not been invited to one of them, but I also do have responsibilities. That's what I keep telling myself this. Like, anyone else, as a parent, you know when you don't get invited places, do you just tell yourself it's because you got kids and people know you've got kids? For me, it's probably because the last 6 years I've been telling my friends I don't like going out. And now that we're stuck in lockdown and people are going places, I'm just like, I really want to go out. I just want to go out. Someone do something so I can go out, please. I'm not even going crazy anymore. I have gone crazy. I am beyond crazy. It's out there now. Like, I feel like I've done what a few of you guys have done. I see people going on those late night drives. I've seen people going on walks. My walk is taking the dog for a walk. That's me going for a walk. Gets me out of the house. But yeah, so an illegal rave. So stay safe out there, guys, because that illegal, again, I don't know where it was. I don't know if someone heard the music, someone heard the disturbance, if they saw a bunch of people going somewhere, if there was a car park full of cars. I don't know how they were tipped off about this, but Stay safe out there, because I don't know if they still are, but at one point they were offering, is it up to 10,000? I thought it was only £200 or £500 at one point, or 1,000, but I think they're offering up to £1,000 if you, no, up to £10,000 if you snitch on someone going around other people's houses and breaking lockdown and all of that nonsense and shit. So, and the last, I hate to end on this note. Believe me when I tell you I hate to end like this, but it is looking like lockdown could go until summer. I have no more thoughts on this. I think Matt, is it Matt Hancock? I don't even know what the guy's name. It might be Matt Hancock. Someone, the health secretary, was basically like, it's gonna go till Easter. Like, this is looking till Easter. And then someone else was like, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way till summer. I can tell you this now, unless the government have sorted out vaccines and are actively giving out vaccine doses, let me tell you now, they're not going to let us out for the summer. They're not going to ease the lockdown in summer. If anything, the lockdown should be eased now. It's fucking cold outside. You can't go in. Well, you could go play, but you can't go anywhere. The summer. You wanna end it in the summer. Listen, after a year and a half of being locked down, go let everyone out in the summer. Go let me out in the summer. Go see what. Oh my god. I'm just thinking about it now. I'm just thinking about Carney. That is all I'm thinking about. Because what? Glastonbury's already been cancelled for 2021. There's no mention of there's no mention of all the things that got cancelled last year that happen once every so often. So was it the Euros? Euros got cancelled last year. There's no talk of it being pushed to this year. The Olympics was cancelled last year. There's no talk of it being pushed to this year. Special Olympics was cancelled. There's no plans of. Was that cancelled at the end of last year? It was either cancelled for the end of last year or it's the start of this year. But the Special Olympic. Also, apologies if it's not meant to be called the Special Olympics, but I swear to God I saw Special Olympics somewhere, and that's what made me realise. Paralympics. Sorry, if it's not called Special Olympics anymore. Paralympic. Olympics has been cancelled. Is what I'm saying. Glastonbury's been cancelled. I'm assuming every other music festival at some point's going, or any UK one's going to get cancelled anyway, because, again, Dubai seems like it's party central. America, you've got places like Florida, Atlanta, they're up and running. Miami, they're all up and running as normal. So we will see where we end up with all of that. But yeah, the lockdown does go till the summer, guys. I really don't know what to tell everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. And if it means you're not going to drive yourself crazy, break the rules. Listen, break the rules. The only thing I have seen increase more than COVID numbers is the rate of suicides. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how does going out prevent it? Listen, if talking to someone can prevent a suicide, I'm pretty sure there are people out there who, if they could just see friends one day a week, just spend an hour with their friends one day a week, a drink, getting some food, chilling, whatever, I guarantee it will turn everything around. Not just friends, family, just some form of human interaction. Outside of my house, the only human interaction I have is saying hello, sorry, or don't worry to other dog walkers or people out there when I walk the dog, and saying paying on card when I go to the shop. That is literally the only human interaction I be having face to face. I couldn't tell you the last time. It's been a few weeks since I last saw any of my friends. So again, my issue is I tell my friends to come round. Yo, come kick it round here. But I already can't feel my toes. I don't know how long this has been going for. I was literally carried about 5 minutes before we started this podcast, setting everything up. So I'm already starting to lose all of the feeling in my toes, which is why I don't invite people around anymore, because it's not very hospitable. But moving on, that's the end of our weekly COVID update. Now, I don't know if this was last week. I saw it last week. I don't know when it officially got made, but Elon Musk has now overtaken Jeff Bezos to become the richest man in the world. This happened, and I said to myself, oh, good for Elon. I know who Elon is. And then I had to stop, and I was like, what does Elon actually do? All I know is Tesla. Whenever I think about Elon Musk, even though Tesla's probably not the biggest thing he's known for me, I was just like, Tesla. Completely forgetting that he owns SpaceX. But I writ it down. So, Elon Musk is the founder CEO, CTO, and chief designer of SpaceX. So if you don't know what SpaceX is, SpaceX designs, manufactures, and launches advanced rockets and spacecrafts. So I don't know how much a rocket costs, but I feel like if you sell a few of them, you're in the top. You're in the top 5 of the richest people in the world. Doesn't end there. He is also an early investor, CEO, and product architect of Tesla. I mean, at one point I saw this somewhere. What made me look into what he does, because I saw someone point out saying, how much money does Elon Musk make from Tesla? Because I've only ever seen about 5, and I'm the same. And I don't know if it's because the area that I live in, I see one Tesla. Well, I used to see one Tesla all the time, because when I used to do the school run and drop my girlfriend's eldest, not mine but hers, but he's mine, one of them ones. When I drop him to school, one of the kids' dads at that school drives a Tesla. That's one Tesla I see. When I used to go to London, you'd see a few Teslas around, you see a Tesla garage, but you don't see Teslas on the road like every other cars. But then you also have to point out the fact that you don't see like Lamborghinis and Ferraris on the road like an everyday thing. So it's on there as well. He's the founder of The Boring Company. The Boring Company is, I don't know how to explain The Boring Company. They just sell random shit online. The flamethrower, they had or is it not a flame? They sold something that was a flamethrower but not a flamethrower, but it was a machine gun thing that shot flames. I don't know why it wasn't called a flamethrower, but there you go. And he is the co-founder of Neuralink. Now, hold on a minute, let me Google again what Neuralink is, because I Googled it before. No, not Noriega. Neuralink. So, Neuralink develops ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans and computers. Let's go. I'll leave everyone to sit with that for a second. Neuralink, in case you misheard me, Neuralink develops ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans and computers. So maybe we do a deep dive in that on another day and all the things that leads us to. But there you go. That's anyone that wants to know. That's what Elon Musk does. It now makes sense that he's the richest person in the world. Because what is it? Jeff Bezos has Amazon. Don't get me wrong. Everybody shops on Amazon. I brought a new phone case off Amazon yesterday because my new phone came yesterday. At least something new has come. I've been waiting 3 fucking months, well, 2.5 months it feels like I've been waiting for this PS5. Meanwhile, I've got a brand new phone and it's not even out yet. Comes out Friday, but I've got it now. Perks of the job. Yeah, what else do I say? He builds, designs, sells spaceships, early investor, architecture, and CEO of Tesla, which are such nice cars. I really want one. Founder of The Boring Company, co-founder of this brain computer bandwidth. Yes, well done, Elon Musk, for all the hard work you are doing. Now, let me drink some of this because I've had this in between my legs because the cup's warm, but I think the drink's actually too hot for me to drink. So give me a sec, guys. Oh, that's fire! You gotta love the professionalism of the MylesHighClub podcast. My favorite part of the show. Let's talk about what are we watching. I don't know why I asked that question and then paused like I was going to get a response from someone out there. But what are we watching? So, just finished watching something called Fate, the Winx saga. I don't know. Where do I start? 45, 50-minute long episodes. 6 episodes, only 1 season, brand new season on Netflix. I think, again, it's... Netflix seem to be doing this quite a lot where they find a book or a comic or something. I think the Winx saga was a cartoon. When I tried to look at it, it said it was a cartoon when I was trying to find the origins of it. So they've turned this into like a live action TV series. Without giving away any spoilers, magic. Okay? I literally put the trailer on, heard magic and was like, yeah, I'm sold. I was like, I'm sold. Added it to my wish list, and then as soon as it came out, started watching it, finished it, watched the first 3 episodes one day, and the last 3 episodes literally the day after that. So it's basically about a girl who was born in the human world, discovers she has magical powers after she... Do I say what happened? Yeah, because you see right at the start. Discovers she has magical powers when she nearly burns down her house and kills her parents. She gets shipped off to some magical school. Her family thinks she's gone to some boarding school in the Alps. Really, she's in a whole different realm. She's in a completely different world called the Other World. Our world's called First World. This is called Other World, where she goes to a school to learn how to control and use her powers. And then again, a typical magic story. She gets to this school. There are secrets that are being uncovered, secrets about her past, her upbringing. And that's all I can give you without ruining it. But the Winx Saga is, I thought it was dope. Can it be classed as a coming of age story? I don't think it can. But it's in school, there's twists, there's turns, there's drama, there's magic. I wouldn't say you get to see you don't see a lot of dope magic or magic being used, full stop. I'm just trying to think about all the times you see magic, and they're all fairies. I don't know how everyone uses magic in this school, but there are fairies and then there are non-fairies. I'm still yet to work out what these non-fairies do, but it doesn't appear that the non-fairies have magic, because there are things called burned ones that they have to fight. Every specialist is meant to have a fairy with him when it comes to fighting these things. The specialists have swords and swing it around, and then the fairies control magic. The fairies' magic all comes from nature, so you've got, I don't know if this is their official titles, but you've got fire fairies that control fire. You've got water fairies that control water. You've got, are they earth fairies? I think they're called earth fairies because one girl who I think's an earth fairy, she can control plants and stuff. And then her brother can walk through walls, and someone was like, oh, he's an earth fairy, so has something to do with that. There's mind fairies. They can't read your mind, but they can pick up on how you're feeling and what you're going through. There's a light fairy. I think she's called a light fairy. There's a light fairy because like they're taking pictures and there's like a little ball of magical light that she can use. But the dopest thing, it all depends on what you want. If you want power, then I'd probably say you'd want to be like a fire or a water fairy. But the light fairy, because they can control light, they can control what you can see. So like there's one scene where this girl's arguing with her mom, and her mom basically just boom changes basically where they are. It looks like they've changed where they are, but basically she's trying to teach her daughter that look, when you can control light, you can control everything, including what people can and can't see. She can make herself invisible again because you can control light. You can bend the lights that people don't see you, and they just look pretty much directly through you. So good. I don't know how good I am at selling some of these programs. I'm trying my hardest not to give spoilers away, but the Winx Saga, dope. If you've watched it, drop a comment, let me know so I can actually talk to some people about the Winx Saga and what we think is going to happen because that last, I don't know if you've listened, the last episode, in like the last 5 minutes, when she just, oh my god, yeah, watch the Winx Saga, please. If you don't like it, I'll take the blame. What else? Oh no, this I haven't watched. This is something that we started last night. There are four episodes. I think there's 4 episodes. Give me 2 seconds. I'm getting up on Netflix right now. Yes, there are 4 episodes. I've watched the first 3. Just need to watch the last one now, called Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer. Guys, watch it. I said this before. Netflix hit and miss with their documentaries. But when Netflix do a documentary that hits, oh man, it hits. Now this documentary is, there is a timeline. It's different. It's not like every other documentary. Well, it probably is, but it didn't come across like every other documentary because it opens up with some policeman talking about himself and how he looked up to some other policeman. But basically, is he a serial killer? Well, it says The Hunt for a Serial Killer. Basically, there is a serial killer, or there is a man that goes round, and it's like a 200-day killing, attack, kidnap spree, where he basically breaks into someone's house. No, what's the first one? I mean, the first one is he's walking down the street, sees some woman. This woman sees him. He points a gun and shoots her. I'm going to try and keep all this stuff. Shoots her. Walks into the house, shoots her roommate. The woman survived it. You need to listen to how she survived it, because if you don't believe in a higher power, I won't say God, but if you don't believe in a higher power, listen to how this woman survives being shot at point blank range. She then thinks, oh, I heard a gunshot. Shit, my roommate. Maybe the guy, I'm assuming he's going to run back out the way he came. So she ran around to the front of a condo. The guy's there. Apparently, she throws her hands up and says, you've already shot me once. Just You don't need to do it again. And he's like, good point. Doesn't shoot her again, doesn't attack her, doesn't run away. He just walks off. Literally just walks off. But basically, this guy goes on a spree. He's killing people. Trigger warning, he's kidnapping and sexually assaulting children, but then letting them go. He's attempting to kill people, but they end up surviving. Oh my. And when I tell you it's one of the why it's so good, is because it's the police that are talking to you. So there's one policeman who's like, because when it goes through, there's 2 murders, and then a girl gets kidnapped. And one policeman's like, these are all linked. And everyone's laughing at him because he's a new young guy. They think he's just trying to make a name for himself. And they're like, it can't be linked because this person is killing people. This person is kidnapping little kids, sexually assaulting them, and then letting them go free. And then eventually, there's one thing that ties this one person to, if not all the cases, there's one hard evidence. It's his trainers. He literally leaves a footprint somewhere, and they keep finding footprints in like flower beds from when he snuck in windows, on the concrete. There's one on an alarm clock because he stood on an alarm clock and pulled the wire out of it. Like the first few murders all use the same. They can't tell it's the exact same gun, but it's the same type of gun. It's a 22. Everyone dies different ways. Some people were shot point blank. Some people got their neck sliced. Some people were choked. Some people were beaten to death. So there was never any consistency. Some places he was leaving like the Satan. I didn't want to draw that. I hope I haven't opened some sort of demon portal. But he's drawing that satanic symbol of what looks like a star, if you know what I'm on about. I am not involved in that in this video, so use your imagination or Google it. It's got a name. At one point he's attacking someone and a woman says, oh God, oh God help me. And he's like, oh, don't pray to God, pray to Satan, or don't. Something like that, basically. And the policemen, at one point the news get involved. And at one point, this newswoman rings the policeman and is like, what can you tell us about the shoe print? It's like, what shoe print? And like the Avia. So someone in the police department has leaked to the press, or to one person in the press, that what's linking them all is the shoe print. Now this is what pisses me off about the media and the news. Knowing there is a serial killer in LA, and only in LA, going around killing, is on like 5 or 6 murders at this minute. Over 30 different people have been assaulted. Children are being kidnapped. She only cares about the story. So she's like, what can you tell me about this shoe? The policemen are like, yo, if you tell this guy about the shoe, he's just going to change shoes. This one shoe is keeping us linked to all these murders. So if he changes shoes, we have no idea now if it's the same person or if someone else is out there doing it. She didn't give a shit. So he had to pass it through to the captain. And the captain basically had to sort out a deal where the 2 police officers would give her an exclusive interview, and she would keep that shoe information for herself. Once again, humans are a piece of shit. Piece of shit. Imagine that. People are being killed, and the one bit of evidence that's linking this killer, you want to then put out in the news. And they were like, and then later on in the video, they were like, we know he's watching the news because, is it the mayor? It might be the mayor. Someone basically put out information that one of the witnesses, so basically he went into a house, beat up a man, and then sexually assaulted his wife. And the only reason his wife survived is because the man, before he died, managed to call the police. So the killer must have been watching the killer must have been watching the news, because he was like, since that news came out about someone surviving and calling the police, every attack or murder since then, the phone lines were either disconnected or cut. So he knew so he was watching it, which is why they wanted to keep all this information. I'm assuming they know who the guy was and caught him, but like I said, I've only watched the first 3 episodes. I haven't watched the 4th and final episode. So, what's it called? The Night Stalker. Go and watch it. Dope documentary. Another dope documentary that is, I'm sure this one is only one long episode. I think it's like an hour. Yeah, it's one long episode, hour and a half long. It's called Crack, Cocaine, Corruption, and Conspiracy. Now, I'm someone that is heavily invested in hip hop. I'm someone that's heavily invested in the American black culture over in America. So hearing that crack is a conspiracy and that it was put in impoverished and minority neighborhoods has not been new to me. I also believe it as well. I can't get into all of crack now. They break it down into so many different segments, but you need to watch it. They talk about how cocaine was the drug of the rich. They also then talk about how there was a war going on in Nicaragua between them. I think a civil war in Nicaragua, and how the Americans were supporting Nicaragua by giving them weapons. It then came out that they were giving them weapons, so to stop it, is it Reagan? One of them pussyholes, I think it was Reagan. What he then decides to do is, instead of funding Nicaragua, they start selling weapons over to Iran, which is a whole other documentary they need to do. They start selling weapons to Iran. They're then using the profits from the weapon sales in Iran and funding the Nicaraguan war. From this, what was happening is Nicaraguans and the government were basically flying coke over. They were smuggling coke. So what would happen is they would send planes over to Nicaragua for aid and all sorts of bollocks, and then they would be bringing duffel bags back full of coke. This is just one bit of the story, bringing them back full of coke. So now, because the market's getting flooded with cocaine, the price is dropping. Well, the price for a certain thing is dropping. So then, again, someone talks about how they learned how basically the person who invented, it seemed like the person that invented crack, but how he basically got crack and how he was bashing it and making it and then selling it. It covers everything. Go and watch it. Again, I'm not selling it well, but it covers off how crack got into the United States and how the government were covering it up. The fact that crack was only being spotted in poor neighborhoods. They've got it on video. Oh, that was Netflix just coming on, so I was talking about crack so much. They've got it on video. They're in a black impoverished, or just an impoverished neighborhood where there's a lot of minorities there. And there's a lot of black people there. And there's one person talking, and he's like, I don't know where all these white people are coming from, but everyone's coming here to buy crack. Like, there was traffic jams. Imagine that. Imagine going out into your street or onto your neighborhood or your block, and there are traffic jams, not on main roads, just traffic jams on your estate, because people are coming from everywhere and they're just pulling up in cars, buying the crack, and then getting off. They talk about how the government didn't really do anything to help them whatsoever. They talk about the Just Say No campaign. Is it Reagan? No, it's not Reagan. It's George Bush. So the George Bush we all know, and we grew up on, the dumb dickhead 9/11 George Bush. His dad, basically what they did is they told that they got this guy that was undercover. They were like, yo, we want you to message someone and buy some crack outside the White House. He has no idea why they want him to do this. So he organizes someone to come and sell him some crack. He buys some crack and gets it. They then arrest the person that sold him the crack. And then on the news that night, the president holds up the crack and is like, someone was arrested selling this just outside of the White House. They basically staged a drug dealing outside the White House to ramp up how dangerous this drug was. The drug laws that came in, and how, again, coke, which was what was being taken by the rich, wealthy, white people in all the higher up neighborhoods, if you got caught with, let's say 1 gram, it was like 5 months in prison. Whereas if you got caught with 1 gram, no, basically that's what it was. If you got caught with 1 gram of 1 gram of crack, it was like 5 years in prison. Whereas the equivalent was getting caught with 500 grams of cocaine. And again, they said they did this because crack is what was being used and was over in the minority neighborhood. So it meant it was an easy way to start persecuting black people. Another one that they dive into is they're telling you this. One guy there, and he's like, they were just rounding up anyone and everyone. He's like, what they would do is they would come somewhere. Imagine this: they would come somewhere and they'd arrest 2 people. And what would happen is they'd arrest you. They'd arrest person A. Person A's got nothing on them, completely innocent. They'd arrest person B. Person B's got 10 bags of coke crack on them. Instead of arresting him for his 10 bags and letting that one person go, they would split it and they would give him 5, and arrest them both like that. Go and watch crack, because watching it as a black person, especially when you hear all these rumors from American hip hop culture about crack was implanted into our communities, it was given to us, we were treated as fairly for it, all the drug laws for it. Joe Biden appears in the documentary as well for the 1996 or 1998 drug laws that didn't help black people. And then what was happening is you've got Reagan was in office. I think it's Reagan was in office. Then George H. Bush, I think George Bush's dad, he's in office. And he's like, oh, we've got to stamp out cracks at them. He's like, just say no, blah, 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 blah. And then Clinton goes in office. And because you're a president, you've got to appear to be tougher than the previous person. He signs new drug laws that basically rip through the black community. And, oh, it's... Go and watch Crack. Crack is it's just a dope show to watch. It's a dope documentary, especially if you've never heard about the whole crack conspiracies. Go and watch this because I was in awe of it. And then finally, episode 3 of WandaVision last Friday came out, and it's getting even better. So again, without giving, I shouldn't care about spoilers. I should just say spoilers in case I give anything away. This episode is all about, it's focused on Wanda giving birth. So again, it starts with Wanda's pregnant. She's going through the whole pregnant stage. She's pregnant and jumps to like 4 months like that. And then I think like Vision like leaves, comes back, and then she's jumped to 6 months. A doctor comes in to help explain things. Anytime Wanda gets contractions, weird shit starts happening around the house. But this one, the reason why this episode was so good, there's like a few, I've got notes. I've written a few things down. One, again, if you haven't noticed, they keep jumping through genres in WandaVision. I think WandaVision, when it first started, it was like the 50s or 60s. This one is based on like the 80s, and the house, I didn't know this. I saw this somewhere else, but the house, and like the credit scenes, and the house, and the music, and even the way Wanda has her hair, it's all around the Brady Bunch. Again, one of those older comedy family shows. It was all around the Brady Bunch. So I'm just reading all my notes. Let me just read all the notes that I have on here. Yeah, because again, I think this is all a dream. My conspiracy is it's like a dream reality where Wanda might think she's dreaming, but in actually what she's done is created some sort of alternative reality. The question is, my theory is either someone is either consciously making Wanda do this, like they've took her over, or someone is influencing Wanda. So Wanda believes it's all her own idea and all this, but she doesn't really know that she's being manipulated by someone. Yeah, but there's that. There's the two best bits I took from this scene as well. There's one where Wanda's give birth. She sings a lullaby to her twins. She has twins. Sings a lullaby to the twins. And she looks at Geraldine, and she says to Geraldine, "I was a twin." And then Geraldine's like, "Petra was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?" And something switches in Wanda. She looks and she's like, "What did you just say?" And she makes up like, says, "Oh, you're gonna be a good mother" or something. So no. What did you just say? Again, it's the thing where this is a false reality, and there are certain things that happen, and it snaps Wanda. And then she's like, no, what did you just say? And then she looks at Geraldine, or Monica Rambeau, and she sees a necklace, and she's like, "What's that?" And she can see the sword logo. Now, remember, the helicopter in episode 2 had a sword logo. Episode 1 or 2 had the sword logo on it, and that was like, that caught her off guard because it was in colour. And then the beekeeper in episode 2 that comes at the drain, he had the sword logo on his back, and that's when she says no and rewinds time. So she sees this, some weird look in her face. And then when Vision comes in, Monica's just gone out of nowhere. And then at the end of the program, you see the real word. Monica gets shot out of some force field, hits the floor, and then you just see all the sword agents, cars agents, helicopters all floating over, coming in, and then it ends. And I was like, what have you ended there? I wanted to see so much more in that as well. The kids. The kids are called Billy and Tommy, which is what their kids are called in the comic books as well. It's Wiccan. Is it Speed and Wiccan? I think the kids are called Speed and Wiccan. I might just be making stuff up there, but hold on a sec. I'm going through all my notes. Yeah, Billy and Tommy. Same with the comics, but I'm just trying to find out what the kids are actually called. But there's that. What else happened? There's a scene in the garden. The garden scene's a great one as well. So this is after Wanda gives birth, because Vision speeds off to get the doctor because Wanda's giving birth. Monica helps Wanda give birth to the twins. Vision comes back. As Vision's escorting the doctor out, I read it down, they're all talking about stuff, and the doctor says, I don't think we will get away after all. Small towns, so hard to escape. And then Vision's got some sort of, what do you mean by that? Look in his face, because again, it's a false reality. These people might be figments of our imagination, or like at the end of the episode when you see Monica get shot out into an actual town, it could be it's a real life town that Wanda's taken over, and people physically can't leave that town, and they're under some sort of trance, and every now and then they glitch, which is what we saw in episode 1 with the mom from the 70s show, when she's at the table, she's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. That's like, it seems like what from Get Out, when she's like, no. It seems like someone wants her to stop it, but it's the way the trance is working, it doesn't work. And then in episode number 2, when Wanda's talking to that blonde woman, she smashes the glass in her hand, and her hand starts bleeding, and you can see the red blood. Again, there's something weird there, because then she carries on like it's normal, but it's weird. And in the same scene, the doctor goes, Vision turns to his left, and he sees there's the neighbor, the black guy with the fro, his neighbor, and Agnes, the woman that's been in every single episode, and they're at the wall talking, and then they're on about what's going on. They're on about Geraldine. They're like, who's just Geraldine? You shouldn't leave her alone with Wanda. Vision's like, why? It's like, she has no home. And his Vision's like, okay, so she has no family, no friends, no home. No one knows where she came from. We don't know why she's here. And they're like, why is she here? And then the black guy says, she's here because, and Vision's like, yes, what were you going to say? She's here because what? And then he's like, she's here because, and then Agnes looks at him terrified and says, stop it. And then she just jumps on a bike. It's like, oh, gotta go, rings the bell. And then she's off into her own world. And he's like, oh, yep, gotta go. And then they shoot. So, episode 3, again, I'm trying my hardest not to give spoilers. And also, I have really bad memory. But episode 3 was so dope. There's so much going on. Now. The people are glitching. There was another glitch in this as well, where Vision says something to Wanda. He says something's wrong. And then it's like a glitch in it, like it doesn't rewind like it did in episode 2. It just jumps back to an earlier bit of the scene. The music changes to a more happy upbeat, and then they just carry on on a different conversation. So something is going on. Again, it's hard to pick out what it is, but there's so many questions like, who's causing Wanda to do this? Why are they causing Wanda to do this? Again, it's inspired by the House of M comics, but I don't know if we can take that. You can't take it literally page for page out the comics, what's going to happen. Who are the townspeople? I don't know. This episode made me feel more and more like Wanda's a bit more in control than what we think. Again, she lost her brother and then has twins. She lost Vision after she wanted a life with Vision and probably wanted kids with Vision. It all plays into all the things that Wanda wants that she lost. The fact of who's controlling her, like I said, I've said Mephisto. I was watching an Easter egg breakdown where some people think it's the Grim Reaper. A lot of people, I've seen again conspiracies of people, a lot of people think that Wanda's going to be the bad guy of this to set up Wanda as the big bad villain in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So there's that as well. However, that brings me to the end of this. Oh, one last thing, Kong versus Zilla. The trailer dropped. I think it comes out in March. I don't know if the cinemas are going to be open, but I'm going to have to find a way to get HBO Max. Oh, I've never been so excited and not excited for a film. I'm excited because I want to see Godzilla versus Kong, like the actual fight between them. And in the trailer as well, at the very start of the trailer, you can see like a mechanical robot. I'm thinking Mecha Godzilla. I don't know, because at the end of the last Godzilla versus King of Monsters, is it Apex? The bad guys, basically, they retrieve the head of Ghidorah. And at the end of the other one, there's like an exoskeleton that they've got. I'm thinking Apex are going to build a Mecha Godzilla to take out Godzilla. And then, I don't know, but it looks dope. The fight scenes look amazing so far. The one reason why I'm not excited is because the last one, King of Monsters, as good as it was, I feel like they spend too much time focusing on the human dramas when it's a monster movie. I don't want that. It's called Kong versus Zilla. It should be at least 50 minutes of monsters fighting all over the place. I don't care about the human dramas and what's going on with humanity when you've got two fucking titans scrapping it out. But the one thing I am pretty sure of is what I think is going to happen is it's going to be Kong versus Zilla. From the look of the trailers, something's making Godzilla go crazy. They're going to go and get Kong and bring Kong into it. Kong and Godzilla are going to fight, and then maybe that's when Mecha Godzilla comes out of nowhere, and then these two have to link up to fight Mecha Godzilla. Who knows? But again, we will see that in March. But that brings me to the end of another episode of the MylesHighClub podcast. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Again, get in the comment sections. Let me know what you're watching. If you've watched anything that I've talked about, so the Fate, the Wink Saga, Crack, WandaVision, the Night Stalker, which I'm going to finish later on today, please get involved. Let me know. Jump in the comment section. I need to do this at the start to remind people, because I don't know how many people make it this far. But subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Please go and subscribe to the YouTube. Like, share, comment, all of the good stuff. Get the algorithms moving and turning. And I will see you soon. Peace.